Welcome back to Close Up. Another 2016 name was in New Hampshire last week, perhaps with an eye on 2020. Here's our one-on-one with former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley at a house party in Salem. Governor O'Malley, thanks for taking some time with us. First of all, you're here earlier probably than anyone ever has been here in this sort of setting. What's going on right now? Should we think that you're running for president? What's the answer to that question?
Well, look, I might, but the truth is we have elections coming up all over the country, including some very important governor's races. And here in New Hampshire, your race for governor, of course, will be one that's contested. Look, in order to be a governing party for the United States, we have to win back our states as Democrats. And so I've been traveling all over the country, helping the Democratic Party rebuild, reinvigorating our party from the grassroots up, because that's what it's going to take. Real people going out there and running for office.
We spoke to one woman here who said that anybody of stature coming to New Hampshire, it's just an indicator of how energized Democrats are right now. Is that what you're feeling here in terms of people want to look ahead to elections that are far away?
Yeah, Adam, what I'm sensing all across the country is a wellspring of new activism, of people getting involved in politics that perhaps were never engaged or involved before. And that's what our country needs. And hopefully it'll happen in both parties. I mean, let's be honest. We're kind of at a low point in terms of people's confidence about our nation, where our nation's headed, and there's no reason for that. The only thing wrong with our politics is not enough good people try. So I think you're going to see a lot of candidates, especially in the Democratic Party, running for office for the first time.
We see the president hitting that vaunted 100-day mark. What's your assessment of how things have gone so far?
I believe that the Trump administration is a administration whose malice has been tempered only by their own incompetence. While it says it's been 100 days, golly, it sure seems longer than that. I think we're in for some challenging days ahead for the Republic, and let us hope that that our country learns every day from this experience, and that we correct this mistake when we next have the opportunity. And that next time to correct the mistake will be in our midterms, our state legislatures, and our governor's races.
Of course, we were discussing that Democratic frustration. Is there a time where you've thrown the newspaper across the room, a particular policy that you found onerous from the Trump administration?
Well, I'll tell you, as someone who is very much aware of the fact that my own people were mostly immigrant people from Ireland and from Germany, I am most concerned and outraged at the immigrant roundup that is happening in our name, putting women and children, moms and dads in these for-profit immigration internment camps. I think it's appalling, and it runs against everything that our country and the Statue of Liberty symbolizes for this world.
We had another question here. Somebody asking who is going to be that progressive leader in this race. If you do decide to run, of course, that's a long way off. Do you change the message at all? Do you shift at all and try to recapture perhaps some of those people who went towards Senator Sanders in the last race?
Well, look, I think that the overall, the message of the Democratic Party needs to be about the actions that will strengthen and grow our middle class. That's who we are as a party. That's the way I always governed as governor. This year's race, I had a hard time opening up any oxygen or any lane in the particular mix. But in the next race, I believe that you're going to see a lot of candidates stepping up. Some of them will have zero experience. Others, like myself, will have actually done these things in office and be able to give to people at least that experience of a track record of getting things done. A pithier run at that is this. Look, the great anxiety in our country is the numbers of people who have been working harder than they ever have and not seeing their wages go up. Everything we are about as a party has to be strengthening our middle class, making wages go up and not down. There are actions and policy choices that as Democrats we believe we need to take in order to make that happen. The things that Donald Trump is doing will not make wages go up. Quite the contrary. And over time, people will figure that out, and we need to tell that better story of where we're headed as a country, where everyone who works hard can get ahead.
You mentioned sort of what in New Hampshire we might call a Milltown Democrat, some of these working class Democrats who perhaps voted for Trump in 2016. I know in the city of Claremont it had gone for President Obama 2 elections in a row by about 60-40, that city voted for Donald Trump. What is the message to those people who may have voted for Trump in 2016 but are still nominally Democrats?
Well, look, I think the message has been sent that great numbers of Americans are fed up with their national politics and fed up with our inability to get things done for working people. That protest message has been sent. But now we need to pick up the pieces and move our country forward, do the things that actually make college more affordable, that make wages go up, not down, that capture the new technologies from the new challenges like climate change to create more jobs and more opportunities. These things don't happen by themselves. It's what we have the ability to do as a free people, to harness change and make it our own. Making our country stronger so it can give back more to our kids and grandkids, that's not something that happens just because we hope or wish that it's so. It's not something that happens by merely protesting. We've got to build, we've got to take action and realize we're all in this together.
So having done this once in 2016, you've spent a lot of time in Iowa, you've spent a lot of time in New Hampshire. What is it about the New Hampshire voter that makes them good at discerning, perhaps, who should be the next leader of the free world?
Well, I think one of the beauties of New Hampshire is that people expect to see the candidates up close, personal, be able to look them in the eye, be able to shake their hand. There's a lot of intuitive signals that we pick up as human beings in just talking with other human beings. And I think that very personal sort of democracy is something that's very refreshing and that New Hampshire has to offer our country. And I think it's something that makes our country stronger, frankly, that we still have states where a candidate can make the rounds and be able to meet enough people.
Governor O'Malley, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.